All right, it is 2025 and you're thinking, I need to get certified. Well, if you're studying for the PMP exam this year, I want you guys to keep in mind that the exam has changed drastically over the last couple of years. Over the last couple of years, they have added agile project management, hybrid project management, in addition to the traditional project management that was always on the exam. So if you're studying for the exam this year, let's talk about what's the best way we should study and what are some of those changes. First of all, I'm Andrew Ramdayal. I am the author of this book, PMP Exam Prep Simplified, Amazon's best-selling study guide. And I'm also the creator of Udemy's best-selling PMP course with over 400,000 enrollments. Let's get started. So I've been teaching PMP now since 2008. And I've seen this exam go through multiple iterations, multiple quote-unquote PMBOK guide, PMBOK 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Now, the current PMP exam came out in 2021, and it was one of the biggest changes that we've ever seen to the exam. You see, in previous PMP exam, you had to memorize a lot. Basically, you would have memorized the entire PMBOK guide. So, for example, let's say you were studying with PMBOK guide 5th edition or PMBOK guide 6th edition. You would have had to memorize the 49 processes that's listed in those books, and it was only traditional project management. You would have had to memorize those 49 processes. You'd have to memorize a whole bunch of formulas. You'd have to memorize their corresponding inputs, tools, techniques, and output, a whole bunch of different documents, and a whole bunch of different parts of a project management plan. Although the exam was only for traditional project management, it was still a lot more memorization than it is today. In 2021, when the exam changed and they added Agile, they changed the focus of the test. The test went from, well, how much can you memorize to how well do you understand the contents? And that's the exam you guys are taking today. So if you're taking your PMP exam in 2025, you got to keep in mind, this exam is not about memorization. This exam is about understanding. So when you pick up my study guide, when you pick up my e-learning course or my live classes, don't read the book and write out all the processes and write out all the formulas. All the formulas you should know. You should memorize those. Write out all those 49 processes, write out all the agile processes and ceremonies and documents and so on, and then try to memorize it. That is the incorrect way of studying. I'll promise you guys this. If you just memorize things, in other words, you memorize that this process has these corresponding inputs, tools, techniques, and output, you memorize this definition of this document, you will fail the hell out of this test. In fact, you're going to fail this test miserably. So what do I want you to do? Well, I want you to understand, what is this process? What is this document? What is this input? What is this tool? Don't memorize them. Don't memorize that the process of managed quality has an input of the PM plan, project documents, quality metrics, and so on, and its output is change requests or something like that. Don't memorize that. Don't do it like that. In fact, I don't even memorize those ITTOs. In fact, I don't memorize most of this stuff myself. So the key is, if you're studying, don't memorize. But what I do want you to do is understand it. So, example, if I say, what's the difference between plan quality versus control quality? Can you tell me the difference between those two? Can you tell me, okay, one is more about checking the quality process versus one is checking the deliverable itself that was made during the project execution? Can you do that? If you can do that, you're going to be golden for the exam. You don't need to memorize that this document came from this process. No, but you do need to understand, what is that document? Like, do you know what's in a risk register? Do you know what's in an issue log? Do you know what's in a project management plan? When it comes to Agile, nothing to memorize about Agile, but understanding the Agile process. What do you do first? What do you do second? Okay, well, you do the sprint planning, then the sprint review, then the retrospective. What are you doing there? What is the roles of everybody on the actual project? That's the key to passing, is to understand it. Now, the other key to passing is the mindset. You need to understand the project manager's mindset, which a lot of it is built on servant leadership. I know there's some videos here on YouTube talking about the mindset, but fact is, guys, I created that mindset when I wrote the study guide, when I created my e-learning course on the live class. And if you want to learn those mindset, check out the book, check out the links below, by the way. I have the links there, all my courses and videos and so on. Learn the PMP mindset. That's going to be the secret to passing this exam. In fact, here on YouTube, I have a free 200 question practice exam. It's called the ultra hard PMP questions that pretty much teaches you the entire PMP mindset, all free of charge. You don't even need to pay for that. You can check that out right here on the channel. So what is the key to passing the PMP in 2025? Number one, don't memorize anything. There's not, except the formulas. You're probably not going to get formula questions on your exam, but I tell my students to memorize because some people do. They're hit and miss. So I'm going to say, I would say memorize the formulas, but don't memorize processes. Don't memorize documents. Understand processes, understand documents. Don't memorize ITTOs, understand them. Like, know what a quality metrics is. Know what a risk register is. Know what a control chart is. Know what they are. Don't memorize them. And then, of course, know the PMP mindset. If you can do these things, you are pretty much guaranteed to pass your exam. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.